Thanks very much. Good to have you watching, everybody. The book is called Trapped in My Own Mind, and the author is Dale Grisso, a Chattanooga State employee who tells a personal story about overcoming challenges in life like depression, even suicide. He changes those negative thoughts into positive experiences. It's an honor to welcome him back to the show. Everybody enjoys him when he's on. He's now wanting people like yourself to speak out about your story. Welcome back. It's great to have you here. Terrific book, Trapped in My Own Mind, a journey of escape from insecurities, anxiety, rejection, loneliness, and depression. Who can't speak out about any one of these topics?
That's right. At the time of that project, I was in a point where I didn't have that full-time job. I had 3 romantic failures at the time. I had not a bachelor's degree, just an associate's, and I thought, oh man, I'm behind everybody else. And that's where that project came about, and I thought, if I feel trapped, maybe other people feel trapped as well.
You go and speak to a lot of groups. What do you speak about? What is your inspiration? What do you talk about? How do you open up a speech to these people?
There's a lot of things. My personal faith taught me to overcome bitterness, love my enemies. That gave me a lot of personal freedom. But then Chat State was a huge resource in my life. It opened social doors. And so I talk about how the college can empower people. If you don't have that job, get an education, work on your resume, build your personal skills and build that confidence and get on the positive track instead of the negative.
You see it from your father as well, who works with the indigent, with the downtrodden every single day of his life. He runs a ministry and helps these people, whether it's food, whether it's shelter. That should be a huge inspiration for you as well.
Yeah, it is, absolutely, and it reminds you of the needs that are out there. A lot of people are under the radar. If you're clinical, seek a professional, but some people are still living a normal life and they don't think they need to go to a professional, and maybe they don't, but they still have to overcome their negative thoughts, and that's what Dad works with, and that's what this project's about.
You mentioned a great point where you said, God, I'm just feeling behind. I don't feel like I'm worthy of anything. But you know what? The problem is people just can't be happy with who they are and what they're doing in life.
Right.
They need to step back and say, it's okay.
Right.
I am doing fine.
Right. Because you feel trapped in your situation, and if you're like me, I end up self-bullying. You hear a lot about bullying. What about self-bullying, where I think, I'm the failure? Sometimes circumstances just don't work out, and you end up blaming yourself, and then you want to give up instead of breaking the cycle of failure and turning it into a cycle of success.
So many times we've had eating disorder specialists on the show. They talk about it's low self-esteem, and that's the thing that brings people to sickness all the time. They do it themselves. We've got some great pictures of the Speaking Out project that we want to show. So you're asking people to come to this booth. You're going to be talking about it in April. We're going to put that date up. But this is the setting, and what do you ask these people?
Well, that is actually a mobile film studio where if people want to share their story on video, it goes on the YouTube channel on the Cutting Edge TV. There's a table there with resources you can see, free handouts, and links to other resources in the community. Like you mentioned at UTC, there's an event coming up in April that you mentioned that where we're speaking out. People can share their stories in written form. They can actually email it. It can be anonymous. There's just a number. There's the book. There's just a number of ways that a person can interact. And maybe they want to write their own book.
Let me ask you this. What are you hearing back from these young people? Just give us some snippets of stories that you've heard.
I just finished a little speaking tour with First Things First, and I got to go to different community centers. And the big thing right now is these are people that lost their jobs, and they're discouraged. Maybe they think it's a personal failure. Maybe life didn't work out for them. Either way, they feel like their back is up against the wall. Some people owe money. There's all kinds of situations I had the chance to become familiar with, and I realized there are resources out there, and if you start to take those positive steps, come to a free tour of Chat State. That's what I do. I show people degrees that can empower them to perfect that resume and to get that job. Chat State's awesome with job placement. So there are resources, but you've got to get on the positive train of mind.
Dr. Catanzaro gave you this opportunity. He's really taken you under his wings. You are the initial contact that anybody makes at Chattanooga State. Your enthusiasm, I'm sure, has changed so many lives. By speaking out, by feeling better about yourself, it definitely transfers to other people.
Well, Chat State transformed my life, and so it's just a chance to pass it on to someone else to be empowered as well.
Dale, it's a pleasure having you here. I have so much respect for you. And here's the information. If you'd like to speak out, they ask you, share your story. You can do so. It's at UTC, and of course that information is right there. Speaking Out campaign. I love that. The Stress Fair is what it's called.
Exactly.
So go ahead and explain what it is.
It's very appropriate. This is UTC's 5th annual fair. Chat State will be there as well. They'll have massage therapy. They'll have all kinds of community resources.
Before exams, too.
Exactly, before finals, when the stress is hitting you the most. Because sometimes it just feels like life is collapsing on you. But other people find a resource in sharing their story. So the email there, speakingoutcampaign@gmail.com. You can share your story anonymously. It can go in our Speaking Out group. on Facebook, Speaking Out with exclamation point, and that group under Files, you can read our stories, link to other resources, and see events like this you can be a part of.
Come on, do it. SpeakingOutCampaign@gmail.com. It can save your life. You can feel better about yourself, and the potential is there for anyone watching right now.
Right.
Dale, all the best to you.
Thank you, Jess.
Glad you're doing well. Read the book, too. You can get it on Amazon. We're back with more 3 Plus U right after this. It's called Trapped in My Own Mind.